After God shuts down the flood, he restarts with the ordinary. You don't just need the water to go down. You need something that's tangible, something you can count on. You need God's grace just in the normal. And that's what God promises in Genesis 8:22. Look what it says. He says, while the earth remains, here's his promise, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Now, that's not just a weather forecast. That is covenant grace. I've got this friend of mine who got this shirt back in 2020 when everything was going crazy, and the t-shirt says, I miss precedented times. Well, the flood for Noah has been unprecedented. I think he would wear that shirt. I think he missed precedented times. And God knew that Noah needed some normal in his life. And so do we. And so I want us to think today what we need to remember as we survive the storm and step to the other side of it. All right, first of all, I want you to remember this, that know that God's mercy doesn't just rescue, but it restores order. So Noah's watched the world literally be unmade through chaos. We talked about that on Sunday morning. There was water everywhere. Nothing was familiar. Everything around him is now completely unstable as God unmade the world and brought it back to that chaotic condition that we saw early in Genesis. Now, we have to ask, well, what does God do to reestablish some security in Noah's life? Well, to do that, he reestablishes some patterns. He puts the world's rails back in place, put the world back on his rails, so to speak. Seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night. Predictability. And so predictability is security. And security, well, that's mercy. See, oftentimes God heals our lives by giving us the grace of predictability. Some of you think right now, my life is just routine. It's the same every day. It's just boring. Well, I don't think God wants you to see it that way. See that as mercy, because Noah would tell us, you don't want a life of chaos. Okay, so remember that it's God's mercy where he restores order. Secondly, remember this. Your life may feel unpredictable, but remember, God is not unpredictable. Some of you may be saying right now, preacher, my life is not boring. It's anything but boring. If anything, my life has given me a whiplash. It's so chaotic. One day feels hopeful. The next day I'm completely anxious. Another day I'm okay. And you think, I just don't know which way to look. I don't know if I can handle all of this. Genesis 8:22 kind of pulls you back out of those feelings, back into the reality of God's security. Again, day and night don't keep coming because you feel good in the moment. They keep coming because, why? Because God is faithful. And that's what the normal is supposed to remind us of. Third, remember this, that every sunrise is God preaching, I'm still here. Verse 22 is just built on those ordinary things, isn't it? Sunrise, seasons, harvest, cold mornings and hot afternoons, stuff you barely notice. And God says, oh, notice it. Because the ordinary is how he reminds us, hey, I'm keeping the world together. I'm keeping my word. I haven't stepped away from the world or you in it. The same mercy that remembered Noah is the mercy that remembers you. And that brings us to number 4. Rest will return when you stop living like chaos is in control. Because chaos, it is not in control. God is. If you interpret everything through chaos or interpret everything through fear, then you're going to live exhausted. If you interpret everything through your need for control, then you're going to be tense your entire life. But when you interpret your days through covenant, through the faithfulness of God, rest slowly begins to return to your soul. Peace comes back. Look, everything doesn't have to be resolved for you to have rest. Okay, I try to tell my wife that, she will leave. I will leave dishes in the sink, and if she's not at home, I'll just, if she's out somewhere else traveling in Mississippi with her mom or something like that with the kids, then I'll leave dishes in the sink and I'll go to sleep and I'll leave just fine. She comes home, she cannot do that. For her, the kitchen has to be resolved for her to rest. Well, God wants you to know that everything in your life doesn't have to be resolved for you to have rest. You just have to remember that God is overseeing it all, and He's working everything out for our good. Now, this week, I don't know if you've noticed it, but every day you saw the sun come up, you saw it go down. Maybe you noticed it and, everything just felt normal. Guess what? You're going to see the same thing next week and the week after that until God brings us home. And that's the point. God is faithful in the normal. And so I want you to have this simple practice this week. When you see the sun during your day, don't just scroll past it in your mind and say, oh, yeah, 1,000 times I've seen the sun, 10,000 times. This time, notice it. Stop. Just take a breath and say this out loud. His mercy is with me today. In the normal, in the everyday, boring routine of life. Your schedule may not be easy, and you may live a life where emotionally you are completely frayed. Your life in this moment may not feel predictable, but God is predictably faithful to His people. So, here's a question. What are you building your peace on right now? Is it your ability to try to control all of the unpredictability? Or is it on God's promise that He's in control? Because He is. Remember, He promised, while the earth remains, day and night shall not cease. That means God is still faithful, and His mercy has you today. Hey, that's the Pastor's Devotion. I'm Bradley Rushing, pastor of Mount Gilead Baptist Church, and today is Friday. So enjoy tomorrow with your family, and I look forward to seeing you this Sunday.